My name is Joanne Simon. I'm a 32-year resident of the area, and I have been at just about every Atlantic Yards hearing, and I agree with the previous comment that this seems like a nice meeting, and I'm grateful. I want to also just point out that I will be submitting much more extensive comments online, and so I'm not just going to turn this in. I just want to point out that this is a scoping hearing, and under the environmental laws, because an SEIS, a Supplemental Environmental Impact Statement, was ordered, we have to look at what are the impacts that are different from or other than those were evaluated and proposed under the original plan, with an expectation that this could last 25 years, and what are those differences, and what are those things that we need to evaluate. So the public needs to talk about what we want the ESDC to look at. And so, for example, there were changes in the 2009 Modified General Project Plan, and subsequently that need to be addressed and evaluated in the SEIS. I want to speak very specifically about the issue of blight. The final environmental impact statement in 2006 stated that the overarching goal of the proposed project was to transform a blighted area into a vibrant mixed-use community, incorporating principles of environmental sustainability. The justification for this project hinged on this goal, and the SEIS must study the impacts of delaying its achievement by 15 years or more. Regardless of the intent or what people think about the program, the court ordered that there be that the effect of delaying the project by 25 years required a supplemental environmental impact statement. And I point specific direction to the rail yards, which was quoted as being a long blighting influence in the immediate area, a physical and visual barrier that separates the neighborhoods of Boerum Hill, Fort Greene, Prospect Heights, and Park Slope. The SEIS therefore must study the effect of prolonging for an additional 15 years the blight associated with the rail yards, and to identify specific impacts in the immediate area should they remain a blighting influence for another 15 years, and study those impacts with regard to land use, socioeconomic conditions, open space, etc. Block 1129. The buildings that were demolished there included residential buildings for working families, light manufacturing, artists and creative sector businesses, including the historic Ward Bakery building. Given the definition of blight used in the 2006 blight study, the SEIS must determine whether the demolition of these buildings and their replacement with a surface parking lot extended the blight. Pre-existing project permits, because there were deals made in 2006 to permit certain things to occur to facilitate the project, we lost 86 street trees, and we're in danger of losing additional ones. The SEIS must look at the impact of eliminating those trees and perhaps not replacing them for another 15 years, which would be another 25 years from today. They have to identify this and other permits that were granted that were in keeping with the 2006 plan and changed by virtue of the changes to 2009. They must study comparable projects, including extended development in dense urban areas. They exist, and we have provided information with regard to that in the past. The best case future without the project, the insufficient environmental controls and ineffective enforcement of project commitments. There were a lot of things that needed to be studied. There were things we were promised would be controlled. There have been numerous violations, and the SEIS must look at those violations, why they occurred, and address them by reducing those impacts or controlling for those impacts in the future. There was supposed to be, for example, an independent compliance monitor that has still not been hired. It was supposed to have been hired before the arena was built, then after the arena was built, and there's still no one who is independently monitoring environmental compliance.
Could you finish up, please?
Yes, I will. I know that you're being very patient, and I know you've been through a few of these hearings as well. Okay, so construction worker parking, this is another issue. That was supposed to be promised. That didn't happen. It took up street parking, and so that has affected the community. We need to look at doing this better and fulfilling those promises and revisiting those policies. Again, the extended hours of construction. The construction occurred virtually 24/7, so a lot of the premises for which the FEIS did the study are in fact were not effectuated, and we need to look at better studying those, making sure that construction does not happen 24/7, reducing the number of hours and the type of construction that happens at various times of day, and that sort of thing. And again, I will be submitting further comments in writing. Thank you very much, sir, for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Simon.